Hey guys, how are you? Good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are. Today is a great day to go live, right? Wouldn't you say? So that's why I'm live today. So let me quickly get into the content. I don't want to keep you guys too long because I know you guys are about to probably chow down and start eating dinner. But this live came about because I was talking to a few clients and a few colleagues this past week, and some of them were a little bit down in the dumps because the first quarter wasn't going as fast as they wished that it would, and they were wondering what they were doing wrong, right? So they weren't feeling like they were making impact in their business, and maybe that's you, right? You're under 10K a month. You don't feel like you're making impact in your business. You've got amazing products and services to sell, but it's really hard trying to connect with the people that need it, right? I'm not going to say that you've got everything together, which is fine. You don't need to have everything together to make sales, right? But what's happening is you're hanging out in Facebook groups trying to find clientele. It's really hard to stand out and be separated from the noise. Everyone talks about the business being saturated and online being saturated, and that's true and false. And every time you log into your dashboard, it's dipping, right? Sales are dipping, and you're trying to figure out how you're going to turn that all around. Um, and I just want to give you a quick blueprint on how to turn, lukewarm months into steady, consistent 10K months without you having to run paid ads, without you having to work crazy hours, without you having to sacrifice your sanity and your family time and your freedom to try and make this work, right? Because we know that when you're stressed out and when your dashboard isn't where it needs to be, it's very hard for you to focus on the things that you need to focus on to make money. And that's what I found happening with the people that I spoke to this week. And I gave somebody a blueprint, and I'm going to give you that blueprint today because I want everyone to get breakthrough. It's natural sometimes that we have some really great months in our business, and then sometimes we have some lows, especially if you're a service provider who concentrates on fulfilling their packages. And at that time, you let your services drop, right? You let your marketing drop. You let your reach and visibility drop. So I'm going to tell you exactly how you turn that around, especially if you don't have an existing audience. So a big problem that people have is that they don't have that existing audience, right?
Sometimes
And
we
without
have
the
some
existing audience, it's almost like a chicken and egg problem. You've got an amazing package, you've got a coaching program, you've got a high ticket service that you want to get out there, but you don't have an audience because you're always hiding behind the scenes, supporting other people, and you want to get out there, get your message out there. So let me tell you how it works. Well, step number one, okay? You don't need a massive audience to hit 10K a month. And I want you to understand why. If you're below that 10K a month mark, and why I say that is a six-figure business is a healthy business for you to aspire to create online. And so with 10K a month, you get 20K extra, right? It's about 120K a year. And so you're in a strong six-figure range, right? You're not just making it, you're not just winging it. So 10K months, even though people talk about it all the time, it's a monumental milestone in your business because it means you've made it, right? It means you're safe. And it means even if 1 month or a couple of months you don't hit that milestone, you're good, right? You've got a strong six-figure business going in. It means what you're doing is working. It means that people like your offer. It means that you're able to sell. And so a lot of people feel that they need a really big audience to be able to hit that six-figure month. But no, that's not what you need, right? So if you're on social media, the first problem that people have is hanging out in really large groups, right? Which is a good thing. Groups are good. Facebook groups are the easiest way to find clients, but not any group, guys, because you do need to build an audience. And this is the biggest thing. You do need to build an audience, but it's how you build the audience that makes a difference, right? So first of all you people that say, I don't sell my Facebook profile, it's against the terms of service and all that stuff, you haven't read the terms of service very well, right? You don't have to sell on your profile 24/7. They don't want you to do that. But the occasional selling on your profile mixed with other content is allowed. And when they said that they don't want you to sell on your profile, it was more things like renting your banner space, your advertising space, and selling that, right? And as you see, that Facebook is really changing the way that they're doing things, where they're making personal profiles, digital content creation profiles for business people, so they know that people do it. So we don't want you to go overboard, right? But all those people that are like, oh, they can come to my business page if they want to do business, then you're cutting off your nose to spite your face, because people don't do that. People want to um, engage and rub shoulders with real people. They don't want to rub shoulders with a business persona. And so understand that when you're in Facebook groups, you're actually engaging as yourself, right? You've got your public profile in there, and that's who they connect with first. And if you just think of what happens when you're in a Facebook group, somebody will click on your name. If you're in a group, if you're engaging, they'll see your group profile, and then they'll be able to click to go to your personal profile. So all of this, oh well, they can go to my my business page if they want to talk to me. You need to stop doing that, guys, because it doesn't serve you well. Like for you guys on LinkedIn, it's not really a problem, but for those on Facebook, it is, right? So I know I'm talking to YouTube right now, I'm talking to LinkedIn right now, but especially if you're broadcasting from Facebook. I mean, so if you heavily hang out in groups, you want to make sure that they're actually dealing with the person that you with the person who owns the profile, right? Which is you, right? So we want that personal connection. It's really important online that you have that personal connection. So that's the first thing. Now, how do you network in these groups? And it seems that even though we have all this social media networking going on, a lot of people don't know how to actually be sociable online anymore, right? It's really weird, right? It's called social media, but nobody really knows how to be social anymore. We've forgotten the art of just being a real human and basically building rapport and meeting people and just being authentic and connecting at a very transparent level. It's almost like we've forgotten what it's like to be a kid again, where kids just meet somebody in a playground. I vibe with you, you vibe with me, you want to hang out, you want to talk, you want to play, and then it happens, right? So we have a lot of walls up and a lot of defenses as adults when it comes to connecting with cool people that you might not even want to sell to. You might want to get to know, you might have things in common, you might be feeling lonely and you want to change your circle of friends. It's not hard, but we don't know how to do that properly on social media. So what happens is you get people cold pitching people, you get people acting weird, get people just strolling up into your DMs and trying to sell you packages. You've never heard of them before, you don't know them. And there has to be a better way, guys, because I know that happens a lot. And I know a lot of coaches out there are teaching that. So you're just playing the law of numbers, right? The law of averages, that if you make 20 cold DMs a day, maybe one or two will take you up. But that has to be soul destroying, right? The amount of rejection that you're taking every day is taking a hit on you. And you understand why people don't want to do that. It is not in alignment with your personality. So don't do it. So here's how I suggest you go about creating an audience when you don't have an audience. And you can literally create an audience in 7 days, okay? So first of all, it requires you to invest a little bit by going into a group or signing up for a group that is paid, right? And why I want you to do a paid group is because big, massive Facebook groups with thousands of people in there, your visibility is limited, your voice is drowned out, and you have a lot of time wasters and tire kickers in that group who are not pre-qualified. But if you go into a group, a Facebook group, community tribe, that is paid. So for instance, there's a big influencer out there, they have a paid group. Maybe it's a membership site, okay, right? Maybe it's a, and it doesn't have to be a very expensive paid group. It's great if you go into things with monthly reoccurring money, so that payment, so that other people come in, right? Those are the best groups because you have jumped the hurdle of pre-qualifying those people. Those people have already put up their hand and have already shown and demonstrated that they mean their business. Yep, Natalie said, yep, paid groups are where you can make real impact. Yeah, so you don't have to weed and filter out all the time wasters and the tire kickers and all the freebie chasers. The paid group has already qualified people inside it, right? And they don't have to be totally like direct, they're in the vicinity of what you're teaching or what you want to learn or what you want to teach, okay? And these groups don't have to be expensive. So today I had a client who came to me and she was really down. And I've done this with my other clients before. I've told them, sign up for this program, right? Even if it's in conflict with what I do, because I don't have a massive paid group. And I've said, you've got to get out there and you've got to go and find your starving crowd, your starving audience. And so I've sent them off into groups. One of my clients made about $83,000 from being in just this one group, being her authentic self. So it is, and it's not a mercenary or predatory strategy, right? You're going into the group, but you're not going in there to be a nuisance. You're going out to stand and shine and be your authentic, great self, and let what naturally happen when great people come together and great conversations are had, right? It is authentic. So you go into this paid group, and it should be a group that you care about the content and all that kind of stuff. And what you usually find in these paid groups, that people have different needs, okay? And that people pay for being amongst other people in the same community. So this is what makes the group a great place to be, right? So that's number one. Find a paid community. So today I advised my client who was feeling really down, and I listened to what she said, and she told me the struggles that she was having. Well, actually, she's not a client, right? We're quite good colleagues, okay? So she's not a client at the moment, but you know, we talk and we got online, and she was told me what was going on in her business. And so I advised her to go into a group. So first of all, I asked her, did she go in and did she accept a certain offer? And she said no, because she couldn't afford it. So I told her, buy the membership and go into this offer, right? That offers $97 a month, and there's 1,300 people in the paid group. So it was important that we knew that that community had a paid group, because the community has a big, large group with about 25,000 people in it. But I said, nope, you're wasting your time, and they're going to the paid group. So she took a leap of faith and she signed up while she was on a call with me. And I was a little bit tearful, whatever, and I was like, it's going to be okay, go into the group. So step one, she's now amongst like-minded people who have put their their best foot forward. Then it's not a really expensive offer, it doesn't matter, but those people have demonstrated that they're serious and they want to do something with their business, okay? Step one. Step two is that when you go into the group, you don't become a shrinking violet or a wallflower. You have to learn the art and science of socializing properly in groups, right? So first of all, always remember that there is an expert, a coach, consultant, an influencer who owns the group, and that's their tribe, right? So you have to go in and you have to read the room on what's acceptable and what's not acceptable in the group. So first of all, read the about on the group, read the rules, because there's do's and don'ts in groups, right? So we understand that. We all know that whenever you go into a new environment, you go into somebody else's house, you go into somebody else's business, you mind your P's and Q's and you scope out to see how things are done around there. So do that. But what you don't do is look at all the other content that's in the group. If nobody's really putting out great content, or if nobody's really doing the things that you want to do, you don't say, oh, well, nobody really talks in here, so I'm not going to talk, right? Because you have to understand, not everybody is great at making contact, making content, putting value out there. It's almost like a party where everyone's standing around the side and they're waiting for somebody to dance first. So when you go in and you see need, and you see people commenting, or you see certain posts, you read the room and you start to see what's the need of the people in there. And usually in those kind of groups, there's a need, right, that the business owner, the group creator is not addressing. And there's a reason they're not addressing the need, right? A business owner can't take care of everything. So there's going to be some gaps. There's going to be some cracks that you can most definitely fill. For instance, if the business owner is teaching mostly about mindset and people are really enjoying that content, but they're business owners and you know that they might need Facebook ads, or they might need strategy, or they might need messaging, or they might need content, or they might need tech setup, or they might need something else that the business owner is not trying to cover, right? That means you're able to identify a really big gap in their content or their process, and for whatever reason, right? Not everybody's trying to do everything. Nobody should be. Everyone stays in their lane. You know that when the multitude are gathered, there's going to be need. And the thing that I love about groups, and I always laugh when group owners try and shut down any kind of conversation or any kind of flow of money, that money is currency and it flows. You cannot stop money flowing, just like you can't stop the sea from, you can't stop an ocean from ebbing and flowing, right? You can't stop water from going where it's going to go. Well, understand money is like that. When you have a group of people together and there's a need, money is going to flow whichever way it's going to flow. You can't stop it. So a lot of times business owners spend too much time in group trying to shut down all kinds of comments that are happening. Don't DM anybody, don't no promo post, no this, no that. That's fine. What you can't stop is value and attention and money being exchanged. All right, you can't stop that, because if there's a need, somebody has a need. If you're in front of a starving audience or starving crowd and somebody's dangling a really tasty burger in front of them, they're going to want the burger, and there's nothing you can do to stop that. You just have to make sure that it's been done in a very ethical, respectful way. So you don't come in there shouting out, I've got this to sell, I got that to sell, because even if you pay to be in the community, you're probably going to get kicked out, and other people don't like that. You have to be, you have to go into attraction marketing mode, right? So what we don't want you to do is start going there and teaching how to information. 5 tips to build your, website. 5 ways to increase your sales calls. That's not the kind of content that inspires people and attracts people to you. What you want to do is to pick up some of the problems, or, first of all, there's posting. First, don't post. You go in and you go into the comments in a group. The best way to engage and to socialize in groups is in the comments, right? A lot of times when people post, they've done all the heavy lifting, but the liquid gold is in the comments. I often read comments. Really, when I see a post, I'm in the comments straight away to see what's going on. The kiki, the cackle, the clap back, it all happens in the comments. And that's also where the coin is. The coin is in the comments, right? So therefore, you make sure that you have your empathetic voice on. So you don't want to seem like a know-it-all. You don't want to seem hardened. You don't want to seem rude or mean. You empathize with people. If they're talking about a problem, you have humor, right? How would you normally engage with somebody that you just met, right? You're trying to find out more about them. Be a question asker. Allow them to showcase themselves more than yourself. So you ask questions, ask them, like, how did you manage to do that? Oh, what's your offer? Oh, this sounds interesting. I'm intrigued. Tell me more. You create conversation in the comments, right? And Facebook loves that. The deeper the replies in the comments, you know that something's going on, because usually you have other people who join you in the comments and reply underneath you. It's the easiest way to get in a Facebook fight as well. If you're not, sometimes I've just said something in a comment and boom, the whole thread blows up and there's like 20 people on me. But it's all good, because you're going to do it in a way that's not going to create any controversy, right? And when I say controversy, we're not clapping back. It's fine to have a point of view. It's fine to have an opinion. It's fine to state points or, truth or things that but we're not being mean. We're not being petty. We're not being rude, right? Because remember, other people see this. You've got to be gracious. There's times that I've put my point of view or stated something that the person didn't agree with in a comment, especially when it comes to business. And, they've been really nasty and mean to me. And because I was gracious, other people have come and said, I just love the way that you handled that. And I've got business from that kind of stuff. So how you network and how you engage in these comments is very important, because they stay there. And also in groups, what you have to understand is each Facebook group has its own profile. So if you say something in a group and somebody clicks on your name, they don't get to your personal profile, they get to the intermediate group profile. And that's where they can see your history, all your exchanges, the last few things that you said and all that kind of stuff. So you always want to make sure that you position yourself, one, not just as a know-it-all, but as an authority, an expert, but somebody who allows other people to lend their voice to the conversation. So you're not overtaking the conversation, right? but you are leading conversations, or you are captivating the conversation, you are creating compelling comments, right? You're dropping your wisdom, especially when you see people that are struggling. You might give them some insight, and that's why it's good not to just say, I'm not going to tell them anything, I don't want to give away any of my ideas. Give them away for free, guys. It's not going to stop somebody from buying from you. You don't cut off your nose to spite your face by hogging good, great content or great tips or great strategy, thinking they can buy it in my paid course, right? It doesn't hurt for you to sprinkle some of that in the comments so that people know that you actually know what you're talking about, because there's a lot of scammers out here. There's a lot of people that are grandstanding out here, and you want to differentiate yourself. So first, I talked to you about the paid group. Go and find some paid group with pre-qualified people in the group that are your starving audience, that are people that you can help. Even if the group owner is teaching a certain topic, you want something that's complementary. So if your service or your product or your coaching is complementary, right? So for instance, if I'm dealing with a group of course creators, right? I might not be a course creator, but I might be a copywriter. So I know that anybody who's writing courses or who's selling online probably needs copywriters, someone to write their emails, their sales pages, their website. So that's a complementary service that you have. And that's why you're not stepping on the toes of the person who owns the group, because they're not dealing with copy. They're actually in their program telling you to go out and find yourself a copywriter. So you position yourself as not the resident know-it-all, but the resident expert that engages, but also leaves room for other people to shine, right? And the resident empowerment person. You want to be empowering those people and encouraging those people in the group. And people will start to love your post or start to engage with you. You want to be uplifting at every time, even if you've got nothing to say, just saying, great job, you can do it, amazing, right? I love the way you did that, complimenting people, cheering them on. You don't know what people are going through. Entrepreneurship is hard, and it's not often the strategy that gets people down. It's showing up for yourself daily. Hey, Jasmine, thank you for joining. It's showing up for yourself daily and challenging yourself and trying to shut down those accusations in your head that are stopping you from completing your assignment. We all struggle with that with entrepreneurship. It's not the work. So many people struggle with anxiety and a million other mindset roadblocks that stop you from achieving and being great. And so you want to be a cheerleader to those people in the groups. We're all going through it. Don't go in there trying to act like you got it all together. Be an authority, but be a vulnerable authority, right? So that's the difference. You don't have to go with how-to content, but you do have to go in as a cheerleader, someone who empowers and with authority. And then, okay, you can graduate to creating posts, all right? If you ever want to post, some people are, I don't know what to post on a problem that you see in the group pertaining to, so you tell a story or put a post up, but it always segues. You're not going to sell your offer, but how you would solve that problem with your expertise, right? So it's really important to do that. So for instance, if I was in a group of copywriters, in a group of course creators, and they were all complaining about, hey, my sales page doesn't convert and I don't know what's going on with it. Natalie says, I feel so clever right now. Well, Natalie, you're a natural cheerleader, love. So, you know, I mean, you got it in the bag. I already knew. That's when I first met you. I said, oh, she's the real she's a real deal. She can empower her way to millions. Okay. So I already know. Okay. And this is a strategy that I've been teaching my people that come to me for a while. Now, those people that don't want to invest a little $100, $200, $300 a month to get $3,000, $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 back, I can't help them. Okay. Right. Because then that's a mindset thing, because I guarantee you this way will always get you clients. Right. And then you don't have to fight in the paid, the non-paid, the free groups with other people in there. So now you go into posting, but here's the thing about posting. You never want to post about your offer, right? You'll get slammed, you get dragged. And remember, always remember this, the group owner's eyes are on you. They're on you like white on rice when you're doing this. So remember, you got to be able to read the room. So when you post in the group, any post that you put in that group has to, and I don't want to say bum lick, because we're not bum lickers here, but has to flatter in one way your group owner, the expert that you're in their group, and put them in a good light. You do not go in. Let me just tell you something. The easiest way to get kicked out of group, and I've seen this so many times with people with ego, is when they bite a hand that feeds them and they start to complain or grumble against the group owner. All right? It doesn't even matter if their stuff sucks. That's not your business. This is their tribe. This is their arena. You are a guest, even though you're a paid guest. And so you act appropriately. So you always put them in a good light. You are complimentary. You do not criticize, because even if you're right, you'll have a lot of people, you know, even if they don't comment, right, they're not going to like you. And the whole point is you want to become the likable star guest in the group, right? So what you do is anything that you talk about it in light of the content that you've gone through for the group owner, right? So for instance, if the group owner was teaching how to create an online course, or they were teaching sales or something like that, I would say, hey, who's gone through module 2 of XYZ? Mind blown, right? And then I would bring up an argument, or I'd bring up something. And what really got me in this module is when she spoke about the sales page strategy, right, that people are going through. Then you segue it to your point of view. But going through this group, I've seen a lot of people struggling, right, to do X, Y, Z. And you might give some quotes of what people are struggling with. And then, guys, you create what is called a paradigm shift post, right? You give the old way that people are trying to do things, and then your point of view on how it should be done, and a paradigm shift, right? So let me give you an example. A paradigm shift here, it would be, hey guys, you know, I read how, let's give the group owner a name, the expert name. Let's think of a name that nobody has. Cuthbertina, right? Nobody's called Cuthbertina. And if you are, hey, you know, I went through Cuthbertina's content. It was amazing, mind blown, when she was talking about her sales page strategy to create a killer sales page for your course. Mind blown. And one of the biggest issues I find that when people write sales pages, right? So as a copywriter, I find one of the issues that people have when they write sales pages is that they always start with the hook, right? And they get stuck on the hook and they can't. But my upside down sales page strategy allows me to write sales pages XYZ faster, just because, right? Once I've written the end part, I start at the FAQ, right? The FAQ is the easiest part to write. And once I've got the FAQ in, all the other ideas start flowing through, because the FAQ has all the objections in it that I know people are going to ask, and that helps me to write a better sales page. So instead of starting at the top section of a sales page, consider writing around the FAQ. The best way to write a sales page around the FAQ is just to go into a group and find the top 5 things that people are always asking, and write your FAQ around that. I just made that up, right? But that's a great way to do it. Or, so what you want to do is give a paradigm shift. So right there, I said, well, you don't really have to start at the top. You can start at the easiest part. Or, you know, a great way to get your sales page written is not to write it, but to assemble it. So every day, write a section rather than sitting down to try and write it. And if you do a section every couple of days over 6 weeks, you're going to have a killer long form sales page that you don't have to write yourself, you know, that you didn't have to sit down or pay $10,000 to a copywriter. There's all different ways, but I just want you to create some paradigm shifts. And then that's one type of post, right? So that's a value type of post where you showcase your expertise for what you do. And then the rest of them are mindset posts, right? Around the problems and the limiting beliefs that you see people spouting out in the comments. You know, I've been in groups where, you know, especially like anything mindset related. So let me give you the mindset monsters that you can form a post around. 1, imposter syndrome. 2, perfectionism. 3, procrastination. 4, people pleasing. 5, money mindset. 6, kids that come into my Facebook lives and talk when they're not supposed to be talking, because that's what's happening right now, right? So there's these different mindset monsters. I say there's about 7 mindset monsters, right? Permission seeking, fear of failure, fear of success. These are all the kind of mindset things that you can talk about and you can speak to. You don't have to say this post is about money mindset, this post is about imposter syndrome, but you see these things come up when you're going through the content in a group, and you talk about it, because people be like, well, I feel so seen, this is me, I've been struggling with this, and you relate. Maybe you tell a story around how you've overcome something or what's been going on in your business. You want to seem relatable. All right, so that's the content. Why are we creating these kind of content, guys? Right, so this is what I'm going to tell you, because it's 1, 2, 3. I've said paid group, I've said mind the comments to create conversations, and then once in a while you post your own post, but it's always complimentary to the group owner. So then the fourth thing you need to do, right, is you need to friend request 5 people a day. Now, when I told my client this, her face crumpled, because she said, I can't go and start cold pitching and cold requesting people I don't know. It's going to make me feel weird. That's not something I would do. I said, no, I don't want you to cold request. Amy, take that out now. I don't want you to cold request people. I want you to request people who've engaged or you've had a conversation with in the comments. Totally different. It is a warm friend request. Okay, it's a warm friend request. It's not like, oh, somebody just liked your post and then you go in. No, don't do that, right? Because that's creepy. It's got to be, there was some kind of rapport. They engaged. They said something, because when somebody says something on your post, even if it's amazing, go back and create a comment, right? Reply, have a conversation. If somebody says something to you, right, in the street, hey, amazing, I love your hair, you don't just walk off, right? You say something back, right? So you do the same in groups. So now what happens is you friend request those people, because the idea is that you bring those people over to your profile. This is how you start to build an audience. When you friend request those people, or those people will friend request you, that's what you're going to find out. You send them a message. So every time you friend request people, especially on mobile, it will say message straight away. So don't friend request people without putting context to why you're friend requesting. So another client I had today, I told her this thing. She was like, it's not going to work. So I made her share her screen, and together we went in and did this very thing. So she had all this mindset stuff coming up. Oh, these women are mean. These women are not receptive, this, that, and the other. And I said, listen, let's not, I don't want to be hearing any of that, love. Right. And I said, okay. So I'm going to handhold you and show you how you create non-sleazy, authentic, and transparent friends on Facebook. All right. So she'd written a really nice post in this group about a week or 2 ago. So we went and we looked at the post, and right now it had quite a lot of engagement. It just had a few comments, but it had loves on it and likes. So I said, go to the people that love that post, right? That's a stronger emotion. Something kicked off in their spirit for them to love it, not like it. I have a tendency of loving everything because everybody's amazing. Everyone needs to be loved, right? But in this group, they're not giving out loves just like that, right? It's not even a business group. They're a little bit stoic. The loves are not coming like that. So for anybody in that group to love something, for anybody to comment, because they're super like caged women, they're not trying to show any vulnerability in that group, it means it's a big deal. It's a big deal, right? So what we did was we looked at those people and I said, first of all, understand who your ideal client is. So she deals with high achieving, predominantly Black women, but it doesn't matter because this was a Black group, but it doesn't matter, who, you know, have got kids, who probably are struggling with imposter syndrome and want to basically do better in life, want to smash their personal and professional goals, all that kind of stuff. So nobody is in that group for that purpose. This group is an affinity group. It's got nothing to do with personal development. It's a group where women come together, same cultural background, same, demographic composition. They're in the group. You wouldn't think that, oh, they're not up for that, they're not interested in all that kind of stuff. I said, but people are people, right? And you know that these kind of women coming together, they're going to have the same kind of problems as we all have, right? Especially, these are not basic women in the group. You're going to get doctors, engineers, nurses, women that do too much, right? Women that do it all, have the kids, have the house, have the husband, have the job, right? So with that comes a lot of baggage, trust and belief, okay? So what happened is, we went through and then she friend requested, well, I made her friend request. First of all, we looked at the person's profile. We went through the content, she was like, yeah, I said, she seems like a nice person to be friends with. Look, this, look at this post, look at her kids. She about that life, she living, she looks fabulous, this, that, and the other. Let's friend request her. And when you send a friend request, okay, you say, now I'll tell you the group afterwards, you can DM me, all right? So what happened is but there's so many groups out there. I told you one group already, the one about the other women, right? So there's loads of groups. So we went in and we friend requested this lady. I made a friend request. She was doing it. And I said, this is what you say. Hey, thanks so much for liking. She said engaging. I said, that's a marketing word. Take off the word engaging, right? Nobody says that. Normal people don't say these marketing words, ROI, engagement, audience. We don't say that. So you've got to learn how to come into normal people speak, where take off your market's hat and become a human being. So thanks so much for liking my post, whatever. Do you see what I mean? I checked out your profile and, you know, I loved your pictures, this, that, and the other. So I sent you a friend request because you look kind of cool. That was it. Boom. She did that one. Then we did another person, similar kind of message. I said, yeah, thanks so much, blah, 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 blah. And I said, we're in the same group, right? And you like my post, okay? And I checked out your profile and you seem amazing. So I sent you a friend request. Listen, it's as transparent as that. Sometimes I see people that are fly and I'm like, I want to be your friend. See what I mean? I see people that are fun. I'm like, I want to be your friend. When I first used to hang out on Clubhouse, Natalie was on there a lot. I don't know if she's still on the live. And, you know, I liked the way she flexed. I liked her personality. I liked her transparency. I liked her confidence. I liked her fun. I had a call with Annette. I liked the way she showed up online. I liked her sense of humor. Do you see what I mean? I just liked her spirit, you know, and it was cool. Do you see what I mean? So I think as adults, it's okay to say that to people. Okay, good. You're still here and still on Clubhouse. Cool, right? So can we just say that these days? I don't know. Why is it as adults we feel icky about saying to somebody, hey, Jasmine, I see you on Facebook. I see the way you've been moving. You know, that inspires me. I like to be around great people. I sent you a friend request, period. Right? It doesn't take anything away from us. Does it make us feel vulnerable? Does it make us feel like we're, as my Jamaican brethren used to say, "Mina beg na friend." Okay? So when we were growing up, okay, so obviously I grew up in London, right? So it was always a big thing. And then we were in like the Caribbean community. And there's this saying, like when somebody's trying to be your friend, or you know, you're trying to be friends with someone and they're not trying to talk to you, be like, I'm not begging a friend, right? Which basically, I'm not begging for friends, right? So I always say that with my friends who are in London, we always say, they're like, Karen, I'm like, I'm not begging a friend, right? So what I'm saying is, we got to put away that kind of spirit online, right? We've got to be a little bit more, you know, emotionally intelligent. We have to be like kids. You know, kids, you go to a playground, they don't know anybody, they see another group of kids playing, they're like, hey, you're cool, I'm cool, you're a kid, I'm a kid, let's go, let's do this. Okay, we have to have that kid-like quality, and we're not trying to sell anything to anybody. Okay, so as we moved on to this, okay, as we move past this, it's really funny because it works simply because what happened after she did that, she was all hot and bothered. And I was like, it's cool, it's cool, it's cool. I know this is not your, you know, you're sophisticated. I get it. But you're all hot and bothered. But what happened is, as we were coaching and we were online and carried on doing what else we were doing, bing, 2 friend requests came in, one after the other. And the person messaged back and engaged and was really happy to hear from them. And I said, I told you, look, how's that for instant results? How's that for instant results? And then I was like, you see? So could you do 5 of these a day, right? Not cold pitching or cold emailing anybody, building normal rapport, being a cool person that you are. And when you're cool, people like to connect with cool. It's just normal, right? Not asking for anything. You're not selling. You're not sliding in people's DMs and say, buy my $5,000 package. You're not being an imposition. This is how to master organic sales without sleaze, right? That is my that's my speciality, right? That's my expertise. Organic sales. I built my whole business around organic sales. Now, a lot of people say organic sales are slow. No, they're not slow. Okay. This is faster than setting up Facebook ads and targeting people and doing all that malarkey, right? This isn't slow. This is super fast, okay? If you're strategic and it's authentic and it converts higher, right? Way higher than targeting people on Facebook ads and doing all of that. And it's good if you're, I mean, look, the volume is not there, but you don't need volume. You need loyal, engaged, dialed in people who have a connection with you. This is high ticket selling at its best. Anyway, we got to that. So do you see this? Do you see the strategy? First, a paid group with pre-qualified people. Two, two, going into that group and kikiing and cackling in the comments, finding people who are like-minded that you like, and try not to clap back. But don't go in there and be a punk, though. Do you see what I mean? Like, you're not going to let people take an advantage of you. You're going to go in there assertive, confident, but gracious. Okay? 3, you start to create value posts, but they're not how-to posts. Once in a while, you can do that if there's a topic that you want to seem very knowledgeable on, but paradigm shifting posts. Really important, based on the content or the problems that people have been going through in the group, and make sure you're not stepping on a group owner's toes. So if the group owner has a strategy and they're telling people to do A, you don't go in and tell them to do the polar opposite, because that's rude. Even if you don't believe that their strategy works, you stay in your lane. And sometimes we don't know how to stay in our lane when we're in other people's experiences or in households and whatever. You don't go into someone's house and just open the fridge. Do you see what I mean? So you've got to be able to read the room and be respectful. But also, you're going to be authoritative, right? You're going to be personable. You're going to attract people to you. And you are also going to be attracted to people that you're going to make friend requests. And that's number 4. You're going to request people, because you want to bring people over to your territory. You want to bring them over to your digital house, okay? You want to do that, and you want to do it in the most sophisticated and sexy way, so people don't feel like they're being sold to. Okay, great. So great, Lola's there. Request people, request like-minded people. You don't know if they have the problem, but they fit within your demographic. You looking on their profile to see if they're about it. If anything's going on their profile, if they've said something, you get a sense of their lifestyle. You know this is the type of person that probably has these issues. You friend request them, right? 5 to 10 people a day, all right? That will get you, okay, about 30 to 50 people a month. I mean, a week, right? 5 people, 7 times that, 35 upwards, right? It's really easy to friend request 5 strategic, intentional people a day. Cool. Now you've got these people onto your side of the internet. And please don't go like, they can join my business page. I didn't say that. Your personal profile. And this is why your personal profile has to be optimized, guys, because you don't understand. The algorithm, why you have to message the person first, is Zuckerberg watches to see if there's engagement when you first friend request somebody. So he needs to see some kiki cackle in the comments or in Messenger to make sure that he shows your content to that new person. So the first time you friend request and somebody joins, you're going to start to see their content for about 7 days, right? So it is a very important time, right? That range where you impress them. So you don't want to bring people, and this is why I talk about organic messaging all the time. My clients get frustrated and they're like, I can't message, I don't have time. If you don't have any digital footprint and you bring people over to your digital crib and there's no provision, there's no chocolate biscuits, there's no good drink, there's nothing to consume, there's no good macaroni and cheese and fried fish, there's nothing, there's no egusi soup and pounded yam, right? There's no rice and stew and plantain, okay? There's nothing for them to consume. They're going to be like, I'm going to head out, okay? They need some good jollof, Lola, okay? You best bring that jollof. You best bring that ogbono soup. You best bring that mac and cheese. You best bring those collard greens, okay? Bring it, okay? Bring it. And this is why you have to have great content, because what happens is when somebody joins your profile, what do? We start to say, let me see what she's about. We're trying to see if you cray or not. We're trying to see what flex you're on. We're trying to see if we're like-minded, trying to get some semblance of who you are. So I start to scroll. And this is when you turn traffic into an audience, because an audience is somebody that pays attention. Traffic is just there for the ride. So you bring traffic and you filter out your audience with your message. Understand this. Your message is one of 2 things to traffic. It's either white noise, where they can't hear anything, right? You're speaking, but they can't hear anything. Or it's a dog whistle, calling out those people and piercing their hearts and emotion with your message. And it's fine. Dog whistle, white noise. You need that message. The message is the filter of traffic to purify your audience. And if you don't have a consistent message, if you're not messaging, if you've got no posts, if you've got no live stream, if you've got nothing, they just stay a friend, a disinterested friend who met you on the internet, and you're really not speaking to their conscience, speaking to their pain points, giving them a different point of view. You're not selling, right? You often find that these people will come to your profile every day just to see what you have to say, and they'll start to engage. And that's why messaging is really important. There's 5 different types of posts I teach people to post to organically message. It is not the reels. Yes, once in a while you can have the reels and the fun and the short form, but if you want to get your message, your methodology, your point of view, your purpose, all of those things, there's certain posts that you have to put out that really will quickly turn, in a twinkle of an eye, turn that person who you thought was disinterested, the disinterested will be sliding into your DMs. All right. And this is high ticket selling at its best, because at that point they came to you. But you're going to start to see when somebody's warming up and warming up and warming up, because when you put out content, you're going to start to see somebody that's always commenting, always liking, always got something to say. And don't be that person that I was a few years ago. I'm so English, right? So even though I live in the States, I'm so English, but I didn't want to be in position. So I would never follow up on a social cue. I'd be like, oh, she keeps liking my stuff. That's so nice, right? Until I realized they are giving you a signal. And you have to understand, you have to court your ideal client, especially if they're grown, graceful, and sophisticated. They want to be sold to in the nicest possible way, meaning they want you to pursue them with respect. So you just don't jump all over them and maul them, but they still want to be pursued to the sell, meaning they're not going to ask you many times. You have to bring about an environment or a scenario where the sell or the conversation about the sell is a nice segue, right? So if you think many times they're just going to pounce on you and say, hey girl, I see you're a life coach. Hey girl, I see you're a money mindset coach. I don't even know those terms lots of times. How much is your package? It doesn't work like that, right? Because it's almost like they want you to approach them, but they couldn't wait for you to ask. And so there's a way when they're engaging on your content on your side, you can take that into the DMs, into a conversation. It doesn't have to be about that. It doesn't have to be about your offer, but it turns into being about your offer. All right. Or you ask them about their life, their business, what they're doing. So you're not asking about yourself. Right. And that's how you turn these conversations in the DMs into a sales call, into talking more about your offer, because now they're asking, they're open to it. They don't feel like they were sold to. They feel like they were in control of that conversation, because people don't like being sold to, but they like buying stuff when they feel like they're in control and it feels like it's well aligned and they have rapport and connection with the person doing the selling. All right. But here's something that allows you not to have to strong arm that sell. So this is the problem that people have. Many times when you bring somebody over to your side, they don't understand what your offer is. And so it's very important that you have an offer statement every week or every 2 weeks, that you tell people what you sell. What is your signature offer? So you have to have a signature offer statement. You can pin it to your profile, on your public profile, you can pin posts, you can put them on your story. And this is where I go through Facebook post optimization. There's so many there's 10 traffic points on your Facebook profile that can bring you clients, cash, credibility, all that kind of stuff. There's digital real estate that we're not using, right? So that people can see what your offer is and understand exactly how your offer works without you saying a word, right? So there is the scrolling story strategy that I have, okay? There's your value post and your paradigm shifting post that you can put on Facebook, right? There's your offer statement where you basically tell people what your offer is, step by step, mapping out exactly the process to transform somebody from A to Z, right? And most people, when you ask them what they sell, they can't properly articulate the steps of transformation, the milestones along the journey. They're kind of vague, right? And people can't buy vague. People can't give you 5, 10, 15K for vagueness. They really need it to be mapped out. So many of you are good at creating content, but you're not good at telling people what your offer is. I have to go through this whole sales process to know what your offer is. Now, there's times when you want to do that if you're in a launch, or if you want to put out a certain event, or if you want to streamline people through a certain way. But day-to-day, everyday selling should happen on your Facebook profile in this way. Because remember, I told you, when you have an aligned audience, a multitude come together, and there's problems and somebody else has a solution, money's going to flow regardless, right? Currency is going to flow. If you're in a room with starving people and there's somebody selling hot dogs, right? Money's going to flow. Even if you don't like hot dogs, after 12 hours of being in that room, you're going to start liking hot dogs. You're going to start smelling good, right? So this is what you need to do, guys. Organic social media selling. And I'm going to tell you how I help people, because many times people are like, Caroline, you build funnels. Caroline, you write copy. Caroline, I'm like, I ultimately am a master organic sales strategist, right? I didn't grow my business with Facebook ads. Now, I know a lot of people run to ads, but my thing about Facebook ads is they can bring a horse to the water, but they can't force it to drink. It can find you traffic, but it can't find you an audience, because an audience is dialed in, listening, right? And tuned into the dog whistle that is white noise for most people in the audience, right? Sorry, in the multitude, right? So it's your message that draws people out. And so Facebook ads are going to bring people to you. If you've got no content, if you've got no messaging, if you've got nothing for me to binge consume, nothing that changes my mind, nothing that gives me a paradigm shift, nothing that reframes the way that I think, nothing that exposes your methodology for bringing me to success, I can't trust you, right? I'm just going to become a Facebook friend. After a while, Zuckerberg's going to stop showing me your content, right? So you have to keep that person engaged. You have to keep them liking you. And often we're in niches that people don't understand what that label means. Not everybody understands what a copywriter is. Not everybody understands what a money mindset coach is. Not everybody understands what a transformation coach is. Not everybody understands what a life coach is, or an abundance activator, or a quiz funnel is. So you don't use those terms to identify and to explain what you do. You use the problems, the situations, the scenarios, the transformation to microdose those pieces of content on your profile, right? Consistency is important. It doesn't have to be 3 times a day. You need consistency, right? So that they get it over time. They start to understand. I've had people who totally don't get what I do. I remember I had a friend, she was like, I don't understand. You keep talking about funnels and this, that, and the other. And she was really annoyed with me because she had a business. And I said, I just teach you how to sell online. She said, why did you say that? All this time I was looking for somebody. And that's because I was using these industry keywords. That's when I was in the Russell Brunson kind of ecosystem. But I was using all this techno babble to explain things. And when I threw that all away, because it's not about the automation, it's not about the emails, it's not about the software, and started talking in terms that people could understand, they could identify, right? Because they were going through these things in their business. I was talking about situations, problems, paradigm shifts. People were like, oh, now I understand it. Now I get it, right? So I'm on live. Sure, hon. So what I'm saying to you is, we need to learn how to explain what we do in terms of situations, scenarios, and circumstances that everyday people who are suffering with those problems or who are searching for a solution can identify with. That's messaging at its best. And you can't try and throw so much content on them. Microdose it, small, right? But often. And they're going to get it. And then you're going to give them direct permission to come into your inbox or to come into your DMs and ask. Or you're going to reach out to them when you see that someone is showing signs of interest, and make that a very organic conversation that results in coins. Okay. Now I'm going to give you guys an offer, right? Because I'm not going to show up this long without giving an offer, but this is an offer for people who want structure, stability, and everyday sales organically on their social media profile. Because there's 2 ways to make money online, guys. And I say it all the time. There's flow and there's funnels. And I always say, below a certain milestone in your business, you learn how to steady and stabilize and get the income you want by flow first. Flow is organic, easy breezy, lemon squeezy conversations, good content, and good conversations and organic sales, right? And then once you know that your message is great, your offer is validated, you're getting some kind of cadence with the things that you're saying, you're seeing a pattern, you've got audience that are coming to you, then you move into funnels, which is emails and quizzes and all of that kind of stuff, because now you've got some systems and automation allowing you to take a break from social media and relax, especially as you're going to have clients and stuff. You're going to have a lot more work coming in and you're not going to be able to be on social media as much. All right. But you do need the break. You do need the differentiation in your business. And so that's why I'm saying somebody who's doing 20, 30K in their business, they need funnels. But somebody who's below 10K, you need flow. And that comes with organic messaging, guys, right? It comes with social media messaging, attracting those people. And I just gave you the roadmap. But what people don't know is how to create those posts, how to create those compelling social media posts that draw people in. A lot of people come to me because they say, Karen, your messaging is amazing. I read your posts, right? But what they don't understand, that's organic messaging strategy. That's what we're doing. And people are like, messaging? What is messaging? It's how you show up and communicate your vision, your values, your vision, your values, right? So that your value, meaning the value you give, your values, meaning your core values, what you believe, okay? The value is what you do, how you transform, and your vision, the people you want to help, the social cause, right? What you see yourself doing, right? The trajectory of your business, so that people see that you're invaluable and all competition around you, even if they're doing the same thing, becomes irrelevant. And that's how you get sales. And that takes a twinkle of an eye, or it takes time, depending on what the person needs. And if you're saying the magic words, or you've got the magic phrase, one day you're going to say something and someone's going to be, dang, that's it. She totally understands what I'm going through. That scenario was me. And they've got no choice but to approach you if the pain point is painful enough for them to look for a solution. Because sometimes, even if they've been watching your content for a while, it's not time yet because it's not painful enough yet. So you just wait. But at least you're front of mind. And in between that, you reach out, you connect, you check on people. How are you doing? Authentically, because you care. Because you're a human being. Even if you want sales, when you connect with great people and you laugh and chuckle about stuff, or you generally have a heart for people, people are going to feel that. And you're going to have great connections. You'll make new friends, real friends that care. All right? It's a great place to be in organic messaging and strategy. It's a secure place. It converts way higher. And I think it's transparent and authentic. And this is how I help people with organic high ticket sales without sleaze. And so the offer is to come on, okay, and do a 30-minute audit with me where I go through your organic messaging and sales strategy. And I'm going to give, you see, I don't even know if I can comment here, but you can book a call with me. Really simple. Move to the bank. Or you can slide in my DMs and talk about that. And I'm going to give you an offer, but I'm going to ask you first a few things to see if you need flow or if you need funnels in your business. But there's 5 types of social media posts that I teach people how to write. And the whole process that we've gone through, we're doing a 4-week intensive, right? A 4-week intensive. And we go through your whole organic messaging strategy. I'm going to show you what paid groups are a great fit for you, right? And sometimes it's not paid groups. Sometimes they're small and intimate groups, but I like the paid groups. But if they're not paid groups, they're going to be groups where I've seen people demonstrate that there's need there. And even if you don't find people in there, you find good content for messaging, because that's the most amazing part about it. And I teach you how to call in those people. I teach you how to call in your wealth with your words, right? It's going to be very easy for you to create these posts. Sometimes they're short form, sometimes they're long form. We're going to go through your offer, run a fine-tooth comb over your offer with my Savvier offer framework. So I teach you how to take an okay kind of offer into a fire offer, an outstanding offer that people beg to buy. Because most people say, right, they have an irresistible offer. But if you have an irresistible offer, but no one's buying it, it's not irresistible. All right. And so that's what we transform. But it's a great offer for you, even if you feel that you don't have any time. These posts don't take a long time to write. They almost write itself when you understand the heartbeat of your audience, okay? So if you can get just about you know, and even if you're not doing it properly, a couple of people a week makes a big difference. If you can do that in your business and you're somebody who wants to sell high ticket, meaning thousands of dollars rather than hundreds of dollars, okay? And you don't want to keep struggling to be visible or to have your voice out there or spending so much time in social media trying to show that you're knowledgeable, I'll help you find your tribe, your traffic tribe. I'll help you distill your message into a compelling message library that you can fire out these social media posts that call in your audience and call in your cash, and then show you how to take those conversations on your Facebook profile. Well, I'll show you how to optimize your profile and all the different traffic points that you're missing. And I show you how to segue that into a nice conversation in the DMs that results in dollars, right? And when I'm saying dollars, I'm not talking about hundreds, I'm talking about thousands. The highest I've helped somebody sell in the DMs is $15,000. One offer, no sales call. All right. Okay. Regularly, I close from 4 figures to 5 figures, right? Using this process. Okay. It's not a hard process, but it does require you to be strategic and to have some discipline about how you're doing it. But the results are so much better. And then when you stabilize and you're flossing with your 10, 15, 20K months, and let's not be silly out here, right? Everybody's talking about they're on multiple 6 and they're on this. Statistics show that only 12% of people are making 100K, right? So salary, give and take, that's what the stats are saying. All right. So it's a lot harder to get to 100K than it is to scale beyond that. Okay. Because at 100K, or when you're getting there, you've got a lot of the preliminary things of business to sort out. But this is an easy way to hit your goal. So if that sounds like you, slide into my DMs or book a call, move to the bank, and we'll talk about whether my organic messaging strategy is the very thing that you need to help you smash your financial glass ceiling that's just keeping you stuck or keeping you from hit and miss months, roller coaster revenue, keeping you stressed, keeping you paralyzed, or making you second guess your decision to be online and grow a business. Maybe I'm not good at it. Maybe I made a mistake. Why isn't it working? Everyone else seems to be, you know, just getting it together and doing really well. And I'm still struggling. Those are the kind of people I'm looking to talk to. Doesn't mean you're a newbie. And even if you are, if you're committed to doing it right from the beginning so you don't have to struggle and suffer, yeah, come on. All right. Love to speak to you. Love to hear what's going on in your business. And we can see if we're a great fit to work together. Okay. Okay, guys, this has been fun. Any questions out there before I leave? I can see a few people are still on. But this has been fun. If you catch this on a replay, like after I shut down, holler back, right? Say hi, comment, subscribe if you're on YouTube, follow me if you're on LinkedIn. My name's Caroline Onyedem. I'm a business coach and master organic sales strategist, and it has been so fun. It's been a big privilege to share my expertise with you today, and we will talk soon. Bye-bye.